Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my family member, friends, and loved ones, and my followers out there all over the world. Yes, it's Johnny back here. It's testimonial time. Another week's gone past. The year is flying. Um, I just want to tell you a little bit about the power of LifeWays X39. It reactivates your own stem cells in your body and generates up to 4,000 new uh, genes in your body when you wear the miracle patch. I call it the miracle patch. It's my personal point of view, but what it's done for me and my family, it's definitely a miracle patch. Uh, it's the only technology of its kind in the world today, and we hold up to 200 worldwide patents on the product, so you can only get it from one of us at Lifeways, uh, one of the brand partners at Lifeways. You will not find it in any pharmacy, chemists, or supermarkets because we do direct sales. We sell it direct to the people that need it. And the reasons why we do that is to keep the price as low as possible so that everybody can afford this little miracle patch. So I just wanted to invite you to the Lifeway family. We one big family. Please come and join us. Um, it's mind-boggling what this will do for your family members and friends and loved ones. Uh, so what happens when you turn 30? You lose 30%, 60% of your stem cells when you turn 30. Yeah? When you turn 30, you already lost 60% of your stem cells. That's mind-boggling. Eh? When you turn 60, you lose 90% of your stem cells. And that's why the older folk always get these funny diseases such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, um, arthritis, and all that type of thing. And and all they have to do is join us, wear this. It reactivates their stem cells in your body. The stem cells is the thing that fights any disease that comes into your body. The moment you get a disease, it makes genes, and that genes go and fight them cells. So anything that's happening in your body, uh, your stem cells go there and it repairs that. And let me just tell you a little secret about this. This is a age reversal. So what happens when you like turn 60? I'm 64, and I was grey. Your hair starts growing black, coming back to your normal color, and your skin starts tightening up. So it's an age reversal. Uh, so wearing this patch will regenerate your whole body, fight all diseases. If you've got pains and uh, heart problems and all that type of thing, go onto the list. You'll see the list. There's 150 of them. Subscribe to all my channels because then we can get to millions more people that need it. So the testimonial of this week, uh, you'll see on the first page, there is a QR code. You can scan there and go to my YouTube channel, the landing page, and get the list of all the diseases. So it'll tell you the testimonial of 2025 week number. Where you see week number, there just up there, you'll find in red will be the testimonial of the week. So please have a squiz there, see what it's all about. And then when you get to the next slide or video, it will be the testimonial. Somebody in the family that are using this medical patch and what it's done for them. And they'll tell you direct. It's definitely uh, I have to watch. And then there's another video after that one, which
Hi, my name is Angie Knight. I'm 45 years old. I was diagnosed with psoriasis when I was 2 years old. My mom did everything to try to get rid of it, and I basically have had it for 43 years. It's centered on the back of my head, and you know, I've tried every cream, everything known to man to try to get it to go away. And that was a diagnosis in 1977. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and in 1999. I have not been able to have children because of that. They've tried every every drug they could to help me conceive, but it just didn't work. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2000, insulin dependent after many tries with metformin and all other kinds of pills that just really screwed up my digestive system. So I was, before I started the patches, using about 30 to 40 units a day to control my blood sugar. That was a combination of fast-acting Humalog and 24-hour Lantus, which you take at night to help you when you wake up for your fasting sugar. In 2005, I contracted Mercer because I was a diabetic. My immune system had some issues. So I contracted MRSA, and I went through about 27 outbreaks, taking antibiotics every outbreak, until what they told me was I created a super force of bacteria in my body, and it just attacked my organs. It attacked, you know, it was in my bloodstream, it was everywhere. So I was hospitalized for a month and a half. And for a month, I was in an induced coma. And they gave me a lot of medicine. They gave me amnesia medicine because it was induced. My brain had not shut down. So they give you amnesia medicine to keep you from remembering the whole time you were in the coma. So that has affected my short-term and long-term memory. So that and also the heavy antibiotics they gave me has affected my my gut, as far as, you know, the bacteria in my stomach, everything has just got messed up. In 2010, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. The doctor prescribed Humira, but I declined because I have a lot of cancer in my family. I was very worried that using the Humira and lowering my immune system would cause me to have, you know, some type of cancer. So I declined that. I've been just basically living with the diabetes. I can't take any NSAIDs or pain relievers because I have kidney disease, and that was diagnosed in 2016. I have diabetic retinopathy, which is a like a symptom of diabetes. It's where the blood vessels in the back of your eye, they swell and they burst, and you get blood in your eye fluid. And if it's bad enough, you can go blind. And if it's bad enough, you will need to have laser surgery, or what I had in my right eye was a vitrectomy with an eye peel, which they go in and they suck out all the vitreous fluid out of your eye. They do some surgery. They peel the back of your eye and they take all of the gel out of the back of your eye so that you won't get any bleeding anymore, but it does affect your sight. So in my right eye, I've had that done, and my peripheral vision is very limited on my right eye. I'm trying not to get my left eye done. The doctor's been pushing me and pushing me and pushing me to do it for 2 years, but I just really am trying very hard not to get that done in my left eye. I have diabetic neuropathy, which it was diagnosed in 2017. It's mostly on my feet. The nerves get damaged, and then you can't feel the bottom of your feet. So it's really trying. You have to make sure that the bottom of your feet aren't hurt because you cannot feel it. There's times where I will form a blister and I don't know it's there, or I've dropped something on my toenail and I don't realize it until the day it falls off. And then I'm like, oh, something's happened to my foot. So that's interesting. And then in 2020, they told me I was basically starting to become a type 1 diabetic, meaning that type 2, your pancreas is still creating insulin. Type 1, your pancreas has ran its course and it's not going to create insulin anymore.
Then, so you have these things going on. How did you come across the X39?
One of my very good friends, Sandy Rencher, she reached out to me and said that her sister Shelly was using it and it was working wonders, and she started to use it. And I believe when you asked her, or one of the doctors asked her if there's anybody that she could think of, her first thought was me.
Yeah.
I was honored, but I was very sad because that means I'm like basically the sickest person she knows. But I appreciate her thinking of me, and she gave me 30 Alavita and 18 X39 patches just to start. And that's how I started it. And then just 3 days ago, I got my gold package with my patches. So
what has been your experience since you started wearing the patches? Tell us what's been going on since then. What proved?
During the 18 days that I took the X39, my insulin use went down from 30 to 40 units to a total of 20 units in 18 days. So
wait a second. You were using 30 to 40 a day?
Yes.
And then you only used 20 in 18 days?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
and what I didn't want to do is go on a carb-free diet or do any type of help on the patches. I wanted to see how they would do if I did eat some good carbs, if I did try to eat healthier, but I didn't want to sabotage the patches by, cutting out sugar completely and stopping carbs and everything, because then I wouldn't have known if the patches were going to work or not. So, what I did is I definitely cut out white flour and white sugar out of my diet, just because if I'm going to use the patches, I need to give them a chance. And fighting against white sugar, white flour, all that is kind of ambushing them and expecting them to work miracles. So what I did is I got off white flour, white sugar. I still ate healthy carbs. And this is the result of that. I only took 20 units in 18 days.
Wow. Were there any other changes as well besides blood sugar?
Yes, the floating blood in my left eye was worse than my right because I've had the surgery on my right, but my left eye floating blood was pretty significant, and it was very difficult to see. It's really hazy when it mixes in with when the blood mixes in with your eye fluid, it becomes gray and hazy. So it was really difficult to see. And after I used the Alavita, the blood was diminishing. There wasn't that much swirling around anymore. I could see better. And the flashes of light and stuff like that were going away.
So you monitor your blood sugar all the time as a diabetic.
Right. I have a Libra sensor, which it's in my arm right now. And you just pass the tester over it and it tests your sugar. I don't have to prick my finger or anything.
And that's what tells you how much insulin you need to use.
Right.
Okay. Is there any other time that it's done this other than when you've been using the patches?
No, I've always attempted to go low carb and, you know, all that stuff. But when you do that, you go high fat, and high cholesterol is also a problem with diabetics. You get heart disease, you know, your eyes will become just as brittle as everything else with high cholesterol. So, you know, you've got to be really careful on what diets you use.
Okay.
I've tried the keto diet, but it was very entailed and very, you know, you have to make everything. And I work 50 hours a week. I can't do it. So,
So a woman with diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis and polycystic ovarian, and you work 50 hours a week. Well, I can't wait to see what happens when you've been using it for a year.
I know, right? I'm going to be unstoppable.
You already are. Trust me, Angela.
So you see the time is now to make a move and help your friends, your loved ones that are in pain and that are suffering in the world today.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a good evening. Can you hear me? Thumbs up, whoever's on video, please. Just to let me know. Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to have you all on this call tonight. It is my first time presenting on Zoom to all of you, to the 333 group, and it is such an honor and such a blessing to be able to share my story and this wonderful technology that is X39. So today we're going to be sharing about this amazing technology that has changed my life. And I can honestly attest to the fact that it is life-changing for me and so many people that I love and care about. So good evening, everyone, again. My name is Alison. I'm actually based in the middle of nowhere in Zambia, in northwestern Zambia, funnily enough. But with technology, we know that we can present to everyone. And that's the wonderful thing about the way the world is evolving. So today I'd like to share with you about LifeWave's amazing technology in the form of a wearable, non-invasive, don't know if you can see it, transdermal patch, which is very, very exciting. So if you don't mind, I would like to get straight into it and tell you about this wonderful technology and how it works. So give me a minute while I pull myself towards myself. Right, so LifeWave stem cell reactivation technology in the form of a wearable patch. How does it work? Many people ask. It works through the process of photobiomodulation or phototherapy. This little patch is made up of amino acids, which is sugar, salts, and water. And what it does is it captures your UV light. Everybody emits UV light, infrared light. As we know, this can be seen through infrared cameras or through population surveys where they send drones out to be able to do thermal imaging. And it's through this little patch that the rays of light are caught and sent back into your body to activate the copper peptide in your tissues. The copper peptide GHKCU, if you do some research, will prove that it reactivates your body's own dormant stem cells. And never before LifeWave's patches have we been able to reactivate our body's own dormant stem cells. And this is such a technological breakthrough. There are, of course, in today's day and age, many studies and stem cell transplants and stem cell therapy treatments all over the world in places where it is legal. It's not legal in every country. And now we are on the precipice of technology that will allow you to activate your body's own stem cells. So if I can get straight into it, let me explain to you about the company LifeWave. LifeWave was established in 2004 when the inventor David Schmidt was asked to come up with a technology that would help members of the armed forces stay awake beyond 24 hours, awake and alert. And that's when Energy Enhancer, which was the first patch under LifeWave's bouquet, came to market. It was after this that David Schmidt shared the information about this patch and what it could do with other people. And before he knew it, the US Olympic swimmers were using these patches in competitive sport, in fact, namely swimming, at the 2004 Olympics, where they broke the records and were granted gold medals. At that point, the Olympics Committee actually saw the patches and took them off them and sent them for testing where they were actually deemed safe for competitive sport. And you may have seen in the last year's Olympics that there were a number of athletes actually using these patches. So what we can say with that is that there's definitely nothing going into the body. It is a non-transdermal patch, simply using your body's own heat and light. LifeWave is open in over 75 countries. And the X39, which is the patch I'm telling you about today, was launched into the market in 2019. And as you know, the world went into COVID and the world shut down. As we emerged from COVID in 2021, the company made $20 million. And in 2022, exponential growth at $320 million. And in 2023, $430 million. In 2024, $600 million. And the company this year is projected to do $1 billion. And that is a number that we can simply imagine and not really fathom. This just goes to prove the amount of people that are using the technology, that are reordering the technology, and actually are having results from this technology. David Schmidt, as I mentioned earlier, is the CEO and inventor of the X39. He holds over 130 patents. He is also the scientist and inventor behind LifeWave's patches, and in particular the X39 that I'm telling you about today. He specializes in age reversing, and he realized, whilst he was doing his research all the way back in 2008, that he needed to focus his attention on stem cells. And this is why we have this wonderful technology today. Although X39 only came to the market in 2019, it was actually ready in 2008, but because of the length of time that it took to have the patents granted, it took a cost of $4.5 million, and 10 years to bring the X39 to market. And this just goes to show actually the interest of David Schmidt and the confidence in his own products. Right, if I can just read, as we all know, in order to get a patent, that whatever product it is that you're patenting has to do whatever you say it does. And so if I can just read this little extract from one of the patents: embodiments as a result of elevating the copper peptide, GHKCU, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, and elevation of antioxidants. This is so important. As we know, as I said earlier, stem cells are the cells that go about repairing and healing your body from within. As we know, when we're pregnant or when someone's pregnant, those stem cells are what is responsible for going about the body and creating, whether it be the heart or the lungs or the kidneys, or whichever organ it is, the stem cells know where they need to be. And that's why stem cells are so important in terms of healing the body. Why X39 stem cell activation patch? Well, other than the obvious that I mentioned earlier, that it's non-transdermal and therefore putting nothing into your body and activating your body's own stem cells, we realize that as we age, our stem cells begin to become increasingly dormant, and it takes us a lot longer to heal. We start to see gray hairs, we start to see fine lines, and we start to notice the process of aging, aches, body aches when you wake up in the morning, healing a little bit slower from the common cold, these kind of things. Teenagers have 1 billion active stem cells, adult stem cells. By the age of 30, this number has decreased by 60% to 400 million. That is an exponential decrease. And by the age of 60, it has decreased by 90%, leaving you only 100 million active adult stem cells. This explains why we start to feel sicker, and you will notice that it tends to be in your 50s where you start to feel or start to begin to be diagnosed with things like diabetes and age-related ailments, cholesterol, blood pressure, different forms of cancers. And this is all attributable to the fact that our stem cells become increasingly dormant as we age. How X39 works, as I said earlier, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy or using photobiomodulation, where it reflects your body's own heat and light back into the tissues to activate your copper peptide GHKCU, which reactivates your stem cells, your dormant stem cells. It is a patented nanocrystal technology. It reflects light to activate. It is non-transdermal, So it's not like a nicotine patch or a hormone patch where it's transferring anything into your body. There are no chemicals, drugs, or stimulants, and it is non-invasive. You simply take the patch and stick it on the back of your neck, and it goes about doing its work. How to wear the X39? It's quite simple. You just basically unstick the back of the stickers on the patch, stick it on the back of your neck or 2 fingers under your belly button, and leave it on for 12 hours, and then take it off for 12 hours to allow your body to rejuvenate and repair. The reason we don't wear it for 24 hours is because we are trying to prevent attenuation. Attenuation is when your body gets used to the stimulus and no longer responds to the stimulus in the manner in which it's supposed to. And then we simply throw the patch away. Then we put a new patch on the next day and repeat. You can wear more than one patch at a time. I personally have a number of people using these patches. I myself use a number of patches in a day, different patches for different things. And the reality is that if you were only to stick to one X39, it would do the job that you need it to do. And we need to drink plenty of water so that we can go about repairing the body through the frequencies that are emitted. The X39 long-term results, and this one's very, very exciting. So what's very exciting about the long-term results is that I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So as I said earlier, I live in the middle of nowhere in Zambia, northwest Zambia. And in June, I was first told about these patches. And to be frank, I wasn't convinced that they did what they said they did, that they went about repairing your body from within. But as fate would have it, 2 weeks later, my husband got extremely sick. And 4 days after being admitted into hospital here and being on antibiotics, 3 different antibiotics and oxygen and all the rest of it, he had to be flown out into intensive care in South Africa. And I was not allowed to fly with him. When I arrived the next day, the doctor was waiting for me, and it was quite an emotional arrival. You know, doctors don't wait for you anyway, let alone 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. So I knew that we were in trouble. Anyway, I was told that they know what it is, and he was extremely sick with swine flu, severe pneumonia, and he was on the maximum high flow oxygen, with the words that we know what it is, but it can go either way. And I heard this the whole weekend, which frankly sent my blood pressure through the roof. I've never had an issue with blood pressure. And a few days later, same story. On the Monday, same story. I actually asked to see CRP markers. My mom had previously died of pneumonia in 2021. So I kind of knew what I needed to look out for. And it was eventually shown to me, but I was told it takes a while for this to go down. On the Tuesday, I made a decision that I was going to patch my husband, because I realized that the end result of this situation, having been told that we would not be able to fly for 3 weeks and possibly we'd need oxygen and that there'd be no lung function test for 3 months, I realized that we were in a lot of trouble. So I phoned the person that had first told me about the patches and asked them where I could get these patches, and they were delivered to the hospital door, actually Santon Mediclinic at that point. And I stuck the patch on him, and on Friday we were released from hospital. On Monday we went back to see the physio, and there was nothing left in his lungs, no mucus and what have you. And on the Friday we had a lung function test at 104%, and we were cleared to fly with no oxygen. So I realized at that point that I was no longer a skeptic, and I believed in, I believed in the patch and what it could do. So I decided that it was time to actually learn what the patch is about. And so I started wearing the patch, and I went to a talk given by Sandy Ashfield, actually at that point in Bryanston. And while I was standing with her, I realized I'd been patching for 3 days. And I put my hands to my mouth, and I realized that I could smell. I had lost my smell in 2021. And no matter what I tried, it never came back. 3 days on X39, and I was able to smell again. Incredible results. And this is why I spoke about this, because I realized that within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. And I truly believe that's what happened with me with my smell. I was very emotional, but obviously very excited. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, helping with things like anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Often we believe that collagen is only for, you know, skin and hair and nails. But I've realized since starting this journey that it's also responsible for bones and joints and a lot of other things that go on in your body. So the fact that we can reactivate our body's own collagen production from within is absolutely incredible. Within 6 months, heart reverses in age. There was a study done of 15 people, and 14 out of those 15 people reversed their heart age by 8 years. Speaking of heart age, David Schmidt, our CEO and inventor of X39, whom I showed you earlier, is in his 60s, and he has been declared to have the heart age of a 35-year-old. Now that is impressive. And this is why he says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing, a fact that I can attest to and truly, truly believe. The benefits of X39 are incredible: increased strength, reduced inflammation, and not just inflammation within your body, inflammation even in the brain, increased stamina for athletes out there. The recovery from exercise is amazing. Energy and vitality. I've certainly experienced that myself since I started patching on X39. I've got a lot more energy, able to focus on what I'm doing during the day. Speaking of mental clarity, the brain fog has lifted, something that I experienced every day. Restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep. Now, this one is so important because without sleep, a lot of other functions within the body are not as they should be. I can say that I get 7 hours of sleep, good sleep, not just sleep, good sleep every single night, when I was at 4 to 5 hours on average, and it was never quality sleep. So for that, I am so grateful. Improved skin appearance. For me, pigmentation, I had quite bad pigmentation. I was looking at a photo the other day, and that pigmentation has lifted and changed. It's incredible, and I always ask people to take photos because it's only through photo evidence that we can see the changes in our bodies. And the best thing about X39 is that you achieve optimal health and a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. X39 works wherever your body needs it the most. And we have a saying, put the patch where the pain is, just patch the pain. Although there are certain protocols where the testing has been done where you would simply put the X39 on the back of your neck or 2 fingers under belly button, you can put the X39 wherever it is needed and just simply patch the pain. David Schmidt advises that we use the patches for a minimum of 90 days, as per any protocol or any habits, 90 days being the minimum times that you can truly get the effects of reactivating your body's own stem cells. And wear it daily for at least 1 month per decade of your life for optimum results. I'm very close to 50, and so for me that would be 5 months. And I have been wearing my patches for 5 months, a bit more than that now, and I honestly feel absolutely amazing. Everybody's body is different. We must remember this. So the stem cells will go about repairing and healing where they are needed the most. We can't necessarily guide them to where we think they are needed. And yes, although we say 90 days, some people experience results in 24 hours, like my husband, myself, 3 days to get my smell back. Some people actually take the full 90 days. There's no one size fits all. Here, I'm going to show you a topographical map, and this is of a 77-year-old woman. And as you can see in session 1, where no X39 was used, the red indicates severe inflammation in the brain. There's a lack of brain coherence. And in session 2, which is 3 weeks on X39, there is no more inflammation. As you can see, the redness is gone and there's improved brain coherence. And in session 3, which is 6 weeks on X39, there's a complete turnaround and better brain coherence. So just by seeing this topographical map, we can see it from a scientific perspective as to what's happening with the inflammation. This here is a picture of a heart where you can see the red is the inflammation in the lower ventricles. And after 2 months of X39, that inflammation has reduced significantly. And at 5 months, there is absolutely no inflammation left in the heart. This picture here shows different muscles that are inflamed. On the left, we have the trapezius muscles, and on the right there, we have the abdominis rectus muscles. After 30 minutes of wearing the X39, it's evident that the inflammation has reduced significantly. The picture there with the hands, the lady had arthritis between her joints, and she didn't have very much mobility, and it was extremely painful. Just 30 minutes of simply wearing the patch. Sorry, I've lost it. Just simply holding the patch, not even sticking it. The inflammation reduced significantly, as you can see in the rightmost picture. So I can't even say that I ever thought it was placebo once I started using the patches, because I saw the results instantly, and they truly were life-changing. My life could be very different today. However, in animals wouldn't succumb to the placebo effect. And as you can see from this horse with the purple and white and red, severe inflammation in the shoulders, and 4 months on X39, and that inflammation, the purple and white, has reduced. The inflammation has reduced significantly. And as you can see, even from the coat of the horse, how that has improved and has become shiny and healthy. And it's incredible to just see these results as well in animals. I personally use it on my little dog who has arthritis. And I noticed that when I give him my old patch, which maybe has a couple of hours left in it or whatever it is, it has helped him so that I haven't had to give him his tablets, which were obviously doing other things for him. Okay, I'm going to show you a little video of this wonderful little dog. His name is Poplap. And as you can see, he is dragging his hind legs. No mobility in his hind legs. And with this breed, Dachshunds, it is quite common that they lose movement and mobility in the hind quarters. So he's dragging his legs, and surgery was going to be very expensive. So his mommy put her patches on him. And as you can see, he's bouncing around, not moving quite his hind legs quite the way he should be. But he is moving, and he has mobility. Isn't that incredible to see that kind of result in animals? Okay, over here we have pictures of what happens to the skin. On the left, we have Dr. Stacy. Quite frankly, she looks a lot younger in the picture on the right. Is after using X39 for a couple of years. The lady on the top, pigmentation, hooded eyebrows, all start to soften and disappear, same as I had with the pigmentation. And the lady in the bottom there is from Australia, and she was using the patches for 1 year. As you can see, it almost looks like she's had a facelift, which is incredible. And she volunteered for a further year, and there is a further photo after she's used the patches for 2 years. And quite frankly, she looks extremely young. Incredible, incredible results. This gentleman here on the left has vitiligo, which is loss of pigmentation. 3 months after using the X39, there is very little left around his mouth and his ears. And the gentleman in the middle, also with vitiligo, complete reversal of his vitiligo. On the right, we have scarring, where you can see that after 12 days, the scar is almost completely gone. Again, something I've had personal experience with within my own family. 7 stitches, and literally 2 weeks later, you can't even see that there was anything there. Psoriasis in the middle there, 10 days after using the X39, pain and redness has disappeared, and so has the swelling. And on the left, we have a lady who had Bell's palsy, and 3 months after using the X39, having a beautiful smile and the paralysis disappearing from the one side of the face. What is important to note is we are never bringing the X39 to the market as a cure for anything. We are simply saying that the X39 stimulates your copper peptide GHKCU, which goes about reactivating your body's own stem cells, which are pluripotent stem cells, and have the ability to go about healing the body from within. We've also had great results with poor circulation. As you can see the picture on the left, pure circulation and vascularity. Day 1, as they patch, and on day 5, all of that, the greens and blues disappearing. In the top, we have a live blood analysis. And 10 minutes after using the X39, those clumped up cells have now become oxygenated and free-flowing. And on the bottom right, we have a lady who had severe edema, swelling of the legs. Every night would come up and put her feet up on the chair. And now, after using X39 for 3 weeks, that inflammation and swelling and has disappeared. Over here, again, we have a wound on the right side of the face, 21 days, and an amazing result. And the gentleman on the bottom left there had an injury on the right side of his face using 3 X39s at a time. And what you can see is that although the wound has disappeared, what I'd like you to take note of is the state of his skin after 7 weeks and how it has tightened. And then on the right there, we also have an injury, 3 days, 5 days, and then the final results, also using a number of patches at the same time. Hair growth is one of the things that I was not convinced would be real. And so I took photos of my husband's own head when he came out of hospital, because I thought, well, after I'd watched the presentation, and this is not his head, by the way, that's a disclaimer. And what's happened is his hair has started to grow back, and it has started to grow back in its natural color. So I am quite impressed. It has been 6 months, and the massive crater on the back of the head has disappeared, and there's very little left of a bald patch. Visit info.com. This website is actually incredible because it is in any language in which LifeWave exists. So you could simply click on where it says English, and you could change it to the language where LifeWave is present. And on there, you will find patents, you will find scientific double-blind studies. You will even find a doctor's panel having discussions around these patches. And then there are also some testimonials on there. So worth going to look at. This is at info.com. Many people have questions around, whatever it is, patents or how it works. And
we all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often, with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells. A true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part? Like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body, how you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39. Imagine investing in companies like these when they first went public and riding their growth to where they are today. Those who made wise decisions to get involved gained incredible wealth. Now it's your turn. When it comes to regenerative anti-aging science, stem cells are the future. And thanks to LifeWave, you are at the forefront of it all. Don't miss out. X39 puts you on the threshold of explosive growth in your business like no other product ever could. And all you need to do is try it and share it with others. The LifeWave X39 patch, an absolute breakthrough. For your body, for your business. Live long, live well, live younger. Experience the power of LifeWave. today.
Now,
So to all those skeptical people, this is the power, or this is what does it. Nothing else. We are not fakes, as you can see. Guys, this is the no-brainer, and it's all thanks to one genius. That's what we call him, a genius. And his name is David Schmidt. He's our founder. He's a scientist, and he's the CEO of Lifeways. So guys, please scan my QR code on the bottom of the video or on the first slide. It will take you straight to my landing page. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share it. And if you subscribe, you will get these testimonials every week free of charge automatically of different diseases and issues that we're having around there. There are over 150 diseases and issues. So you can't tell me one of your family members and friends or loved ones don't suffer with one or more of those issues. Guys, it's a no-brainer. This is, like I say, it is a medical patch. This is what does it for everybody out there. We are not fakes. So guys, subscribe and you'll get your testimonials free. And if you see one of issues or diseases that one of your family member, friends or loved ones are suffering with, drop me a message and I'll send you live testimonials of all over the world of the same issue that you want to see, and then you can make your decision. If you're skeptical, the proof is there. I mean, what more do you want us to do? So guys, please hope to hear from you soon. Drop me that message and I'll get back to you if you need any more information or anything, or if you want to be hooked up to the product. I would be your sponsor on this, because you've got to get a code through one of the brand partners on Lifeways to join up and because we've got to help you. We've done training on this for many years, and we help you. So thanks for being here. Enjoy the weekend. I'll see you next Saturday when I launch the next testimonial. Remember, you'll get it free if you subscribe. Please, we need subscribers to reach billions more people all over the world. Thanks, and see you next week. Enjoy the week, and stay healthy and live younger. Thanks a lot, and bye.